I remember how. Okay. All right, we are live. Welcome everyone. This is Brian, Texas Treasures. First video live in months. To be honest, feels a little awkward. Um, Val Milk is here. First video live in months. To be honest, feels a little awkward. We got a little back there, Clay. And we got Clay. What's your YouTube channel, Clay? We're talking about naming like Clay's. Val and I, we like the name Catnap for Clay because he's got a big heart. He takes in a lot of stray cats. We have one stray cat we took in too, so I can appreciate that. And he's known for taking naps with his stray cats. So Catnap may be a good name for Clay.
I was on the floor and Beep Beep's room laying on the floor because there's no furniture.
Wait, Beep Beep?
Beep Beep is her name. Yeah, Beep Beep.
Why don't you give us the cat breakdown to start off our reselling? And we're just gonna be chatting. We'll chat reselling, and we're gonna talk.
Still the old cat, Scoogy. He'll be 19.
I know Scoogy.
Month, and then Beep Beep, who's the
I love that name, by the way.
Beep Beep.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Yeah, she talks so much, so I don't know. It just seemed to fit. And I took her in February when it was, the snow and ice. So, and then every now and then the boy cat, he'll come up. He's been up some recently, but he stays out, He doesn't really want to come in. And I don't have room right now. I mean, I do, but I don't. So
two cats, is that?
Two cats, yeah. And then the other, stray that I'll feed, every now and then when he comes up.
Does the stray have a name?
Bubba Lou, because when I was in high school, we had an orange cat that looks like him that wandered up, and we named it Bubba. And for some reason, I liked Lou, or sometimes it makes me laugh. I call him Lewis. I don't know, like he's a person. We're like, hi, Lewis. So
I like it.
Yeah. Now, none of them like each other, so that's part of their problem. I can't just bring them all in because I'm trying to let my old cat still have the run of the house, but, I think it is stressing her out because she's lost weight. I mean, she is almost 19 and has some health issues, but that's why I keep the Beep Beep in her, what I call her room, one of the extra bedrooms. Oh, I thought you were showing us jeans at first.
No, I'm just folding. I was listening on the other tab while I was listening to the cat talk.
I forget you list on the computer.
I'm a little behind today, to be honest. Like talking of naps, I don't know. I was tired after lunch. I said I'm gonna lay down for 30 minutes. I'm gonna take a cat nap. 2 hours later, I'm like, oh crap! I wake up. So I'm behind.
Yeah.
So, so I'm doing 30 listings a day. Clay knows my never-ending story. For the past probably 3 or 4 months, I've been doing nothing. And hey, Craig, thanks for dropping by. I've been doing nothing but shoes, and that has been going really well. Like my ASP and sell-through rate on those are doing very well. The shoes are selling fast, they're selling for good money, but I was doing like 15 a day, and I guess because of how efficient I've become since I've been in Chris and Tech's group, like I've been finishing around lunchtime. I'm like, well, I feel like I can make more money. I shouldn't just finish my day at lunch every day, which was kind of nice, to be honest. But my conundrum is the thing with shoes, like you have to do a lot more sourcing. You have to hit a lot more stores, because when you go into a thrift store, probably 80% of a thrift store is clothing, and probably 3/4 of that is women's clothing. And so we do have a lot of thrift stores in the Dallas area. but I was finding myself, I would have to source more and more and more to list more shoes. And I was like, well, why don't I just keep like what I'm doing with shoes? And at the same time, I can also list clothing. And so that's what I'm doing currently. So I'm listing a combination of shoes and clothes, um, mostly jeans, but also like men's shirts and jackets and sweaters and some women's jeans also. So, and I'm going to try to stay at 30 a day for the rest of August and September and see how that goes. So that's kind of where I'm at currently, the latest version of my business. Clayton, the latest. Due to change.
So are you sourcing for yourself? Did you say that? Sorry, I'm over here trying to multitask.
Yeah, I hear you. It is a struggle multitasking. Yeah, currently I am. I mean, Clay and I've talked a little bit. Like, there may be a point, depending on. And Clay can talk about all his streams of income. Clay has a very diversified. I call it Clay stew. Like if you think about a stew, you got the meat, which Clay wouldn't have in his stew. You got the vegetables, which Clay wouldn't actually.
I really wouldn't have either. Yeah.
Would probably be crackers and
potatoes,
cheese enchilada. It would be a horrible stew. Maybe some potatoes.
Oh, and I wouldn't put and enchiladas. I know, like, don't people have like, aren't there enchiladas something soup or what? Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's chicken tortilla soup, which actually I do enjoy. It's really good.
Yeah, see, and I never liked that. That's crossing. Like, Mexican is on a plate.
Well, it has lots of rules. Yeah, food is one of the categories. But the metaphor.
Make more videos of my rules. I got a bunch I need to send to Francis.
So many rules. But like the metaphor is like stew. For people that eat stew, you're normal people. You have like meat, potato, carrots. And a sundry of vegetables.
The stuff my mom used to make that. Yeah, some celery.
You didn't eat. Well, hold on. Let me finish this, and then we'll talk about your childhood and your eating habits, which is very interesting to me. I need to figure it out.
Tommy, you're right. There's no money in shoes.
Yeah, no money. Leave them alone.
Tommy doesn't make any money in shoes.
Hold on. Let me finish Clay's stew metaphor real quick, and then we'll move on. So you have all these all these ingredients, and when it's done right, you have a nice stew at the end, right? Your nice meal. And like for me, like I'm just all reselling right now. All my income is basically reselling, mostly through eBay, a little bit of Poshmark, a little bit of Facebook Marketplace, little tiny bit of marketing, but it's all reselling. But Clay, and he could go into all the ways he makes money. Clay makes money a lot of different ways. So I always joke around like Clay's stew. He's always looking to add a new vegetable to his stew, like. Is that something you want to talk about, Clay? If you don't want to talk about
it, yeah. Lately it's some eBay actually.
I'm impressed with, by the way, which is the main reason I wanted to do this live, to encourage this.
But well, I guess actually, some eBay, donating plasma most weeks. And that's like just depends on the place that they have bonuses. Either it's like 60 a time or 100. So this couple, Larry and Paula, who live a couple miles from me, when I posted on Nextdoor last fall about driving people to the airport, like for cash, since I drive Uber and Lyft, I drove them a bunch, and they've been out of town basically all summer. So I water their lawn for an hour, not their lawn, sorry, all these new trees. An hour on Monday, that's $30 for watching YouTube. 3 hours on Friday. Now this week I won't make anything because I think Friday it's still going to be have gotten plenty of water, since here in East Dallas we got 15 inches in our once in a 1,000-year storm. But that some cash rides,
which, by the way, those are happening way more frequently than 1,000 years, but go ahead.
And then Uber, Uber. Yeah. And then I feel like I'm missing. Oh, I did sell also to Dolly Python last week for the first time in months, because my friend just too busy to meet, but made $300 off 39 pieces of clothing that would not sell on eBay.
I thought Dolly Python was actually what Brian had typed in the chat for a second.
What did he
Oh my
say?
god. Holy crap.
What do you put? Oh, no.
I got scared for a second. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Brian, no.
I heard there's good money in sperm donation, Clay.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. No,
Tommy says
not
that's a
gonna
lot
do
more
that.
fun to donate. Which
No, not
probably hard
gonna
to
have a
argue
bunch
with
of
that.
kids.
Hey,
Not
toy.
gonna have a bunch of kids out there that I don't know. No,
Oh.
Dolly Python's like a cool
Stray Clays.
No, Val, you would like Dolly Python. I'll send you a link to the store.
Oh my lord. We are off the wheels. Off the track. Oh my lord. I'm so confused.
I'm sorry.
That's so fun.
Ooh, boy. Where's my microphone?
Well, I mean,
website.
How much does that pay? The other donation? Oh, and weren't you mentioning like what do you call it? A notary? Like you wanted to?
Oh yeah, I'm going to sign up to be a mobile notary, and that's like a couple $100 for a few years. So then I got to figure out how to get clients. Huh?
A few years? A few years?
Something like that. Yeah. You just basically pay and they send you this stamp and a book where you record stuff. So I'll just.
What do you mean a few $100 for a few years?
Like for whatever, like fees or license or something. There's no classes or anything really. I mean,
it's
all you have to do is make sure that the people signing the document are them. The document can be totally wrong, but that's not up to you. So I'll just, once I get that, I'll post on Nextdoor. There's this random Facebook group I told you about, the garage sale one, where.
So, all right, I have a follow-up question, and I'm not messing with you. Like I know, because like sometimes Clay and I we kind of like I used to be a lot more like I wanted him just to do eBay and just to be niched down. Like I'm okay at this point. So these are real questions. I'm not trying to be a jerk. Gosh. Oh yeah, here I lost track of my question. So how do you keep? No, this is serious. Like how do you keep track of, with so many options? Like how do you keep track of a schedule and to be consistent, or maybe consistency is not what you're shooting for? Like how do you manage all these things?
Well, right now it's mostly, since it's just a few things.
Tommy, oh my God, I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry.
You know me, like today I did intend to go donate plasma, but stupid me, so tired after I took Dad to the doctor, I've just been at home doing nothing. So I haven't made any money today, and that's okay. It is what it is. Tomorrow I'll get up and
so just to clarify, so there's not necessarily urgency to make money consistently.
Well, there is at times. Like, no, I mean, I've got my next set of bills that'll be like next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's
as the bills get closer, then the urgency increases.
Yeah, then I work. Yeah.
Okay, so you're the grasshopper versus the ant.
Yeah, because like Monday, Dad's having this heart procedure, so I won't work that day.
Does that? And once again, as I'm asking these questions, I'm not putting my bias. I'm really trying to understand. So that doesn't create stress?
Oh, it does at times, but more and more I've gotten better at where I'm like, well, I keep getting by and paying the bills and, so, and now that I'm starting to make some off eBay, that helps.
Which is good. And I want to get into the eBay too, for sure.
Yeah. So, the sleep deal, of course, affects everything. So
why were you so tired? And this is more like a therapy session.
Oh, I just stay up late watching TV, and just like I'll watch a little more.
What is late for Clay?
Oh, like 2 or 3 a.m.
So all right. So you stayed up late, even though you I'm assuming you had a tentative plan for today.
Well, I mean, I took Dad to the doctor. That was the main thing I had to do.
So you knew that you weren't necessarily, it wasn't a priority to make money today. Is that correct?
Well, it was, but once I was hungry and tired after I took him to the doctor, I knew I was going to come home and eat. Because even if the first thing I would have done is donate plasma, but I needed to eat and drink a ton of water. So when I came home, I kind of had that idea, but then I was just like, I just didn't, want to deal with it. So even though it's easy, I just was so tired, obviously. So tomorrow I'll donate plasma in the morning, and then once I get done there, I'll drive Uber until, like, I don't know, I'll probably set a dollar amount, like 120, and I'll make about 100 at the plasma. And then Friday.
So it's a blend of, like, you do kind of have goals, but if something detours you, like staying up late watching TV, it's not necessarily a big deal.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better and better at, like, I mean, I'm tired, so I didn't work. I chose to not work, so I got to be okay with it. I learned in therapy, you're going to do something or you're not. It could be on a to-do list like for years. Obviously, you don't care about doing it, so take it off the damn list.
So would the therapist maybe say, like, if it's not important, don't put it on the list?
Maybe. Well, after a certain point, yeah. Yeah, my therapist, Lisa, would probably say, yeah, or just take it off the list. Yeah, if you're not doing it, then it's obviously not, you don't care.
Take it off the
And I've done that, where you're like, oh, or you look at it and you're okay with it being on the list still, because you got to be okay with whatever your choices are. So.
All right, so let's turn this to the positive side. Like, I'm just trying to understand.
Uber a bunch the next 4 days. Oh, and I just remembered.
But if you stay up or something happens and you miss a day, like, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Well, it just depends on bills, kind of. It could be not a big deal, but I mean, I got to have a certain amount of money for the automatic bills, that come out, which is a big percent. There's some that I can.
So here's Tommy's comment, and feel free to respond. And Tommy jokes a lot too, so. He says, so the moral of the story is Clay is never going to die from overworking himself.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one less thing to worry about. Sounds like a fortune.
That's why I quit teaching. I'm not going to have some job that is super stressful and all that. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
All right. So this is kind of fun. I haven't done it live in a while. All right. So I think we got a feel for Clay. And then we want to get to Clay's eBay, which he has been listing consistently, which I'm very proud of, by the way. So Val, why don't you catch us up on you? Like, what's your philosophy on reselling, and like what are your thoughts? And what's been up with you? Because we haven't talked in a while.
My philosophy on reselling.
Well, reselling / life. And by the way, I'm still finishing up my listings on other tabs, which I'm very slow, but because I'm mostly listening to y'all. But I'm just okay. Catch us up and like contrast it, or like what are your thoughts?
Well, lately I've been full-time gardener, part-time reseller. The gardening doesn't make me any money, but it makes me mentally happy and not going crazy. Reselling, I told you.
Wait, what all are you gardening? Like, I've seen some of your Facebook posts, and I love looking at the fresh vegetables, which could go in the stew, which Clay would never eat, by the way. But so what all's in your garden? My grandmother always had a garden when I was a kid, and like
there's cucumbers, zucchinis, huge tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. I have watermelon, cantaloupe, strawberries, and then a bunch of flowers. I've really gotten into growing flowers. Next year, it might just be one huge flower garden.
Oh, really? What type of flowers?
I have no idea.
Just pretty ones, huh?
Just pretty ones.
I'm for it.
No, but next year, I think actually I'm going to do mainly just fruit, the expensive stuff at the grocery store, like cucumbers, They're pretty cheap. I have potatoes out there too. But I think I'm gonna do
like
every
watermelon, for example.
yeah, I'm gonna do every type of berry I can. Watermelon again, cantaloupe. Maybe plant a few fruit trees, even though those will take a few years to produce for me. But yep.
I'm for it. I like it. So
And
that's
then
your happy place. Like how many hours a day do you think you during the summer? Obviously, that's going to be a summer kind of thing.
well, when I was starting my garden, that's why I say I'm doing it full time. I was spending about 4 hours out in my garden.
Nice.
I've gotten it down to like an hour and a half ish a day.
So that's kind of your happy place. You de-stress maybe.
Yeah, definitely. But for reselling, I don't think I've had many new listings. I've had like 20 or so drafts that I finished up. But other than that, I've just been like in Poshmark relisting, but like deleting it and then relisting it. And then once I do that, I do it for eBay.
So how's that going? Like I know when we were doing lives months ago, like we were getting you on eBay. So are you still doing both eBay and Poshmark?
Yes, I am. But
And how
for
do
a
you,
while, eBay was taking off and it was doing better than my Poshmark. But now it's Poshmark that's been doing good for me.
well, the key to eBay is like Alice Clay would call it, or the algorithm. It rewards consistency. So if you list daily, like which is why like when I say I do 30 a day, it's because eBay rewards that consistency. If you stop listing on eBay over time, your traffic and your sales will slowly drop. Whereas Poshmark,
real quick, even
if you're yeah, Clay knows this. Where Poshmark, if you're sharing, right, then
Right.
that seems to be the magic key there. So like if you wanted eBay to take off, then maybe just pick X amount of listings per day that you want to do consistently, and you can get consistent traffic and sales. Not saying you have to, but like if that's what you want, eBay.
Yeah, which I need to do. Like Poshmark, I just baby it and I work at that. But the eBay, I do need to put more effort into. Currently, I have 139 listings over there.
Hey, that's almost as much as me. So good job.
How long you been on eBay, Clay?
Only since like 2018.
Oh Lord. This is a no judgment.
Like I say, whenever I do list, I always make money, And now I have even better stuff. So
that's one of the things for you, Clay, right? Like you're listing higher quality items, right?
Yeah, and higher. Like this year, I think right now my average sale price, it's not that many items. It is like $30 something. It helps that there's a 75 and an 85, but yeah, I have better stuff from like Kathy, some of that like knitting, whatever, cross stitch stuff, and that painting from the Cry unit.
Which painting was that?
Hold on, let me get it. It just, let's see. I'm gonna grab my phone, so back where the charger is anyway.
What's the Cry unit?
That was that storage unit in last December. Remember that Brian down in Hillsboro that was like an hour away from me.
That broke you from storage units.
Yeah, that one that I went and cleared out pretty much, not complaining, but I deemed it the Cry unit because he, it like practically made him cry, or whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that unit.
I still should get Francis to edit some of that, whatever, that first day when you were just so over it.
But and here's the thing, like storage units, like that's probably about the 15th unit I've done, storage unit, and even that unit was profitable. It's hard. I've never bought a storage unit that isn't profitable. So like if you're an everything seller, like in Clay's shoes, I would probably stick with storage units, to be honest, because your cost of goods is so cheap. The vintage painting, how much you get for
that? Let's see, 85.
Nice.
Yeah.
because I mean that's an example, and like I got most of the clothing from that unit, and there was vintage pieces in there, like vintage Harley, and I forget what all. I probably made. I have no idea what I made, but probably $500 to $1,000 on a unit that we probably, I don't even remember what we paid for it. We paid up a little bit.
Three something each.
Yeah,
And
that
then
one we paid up.
Brian paid me back for like 2/3 since I had gone down there and done about 85% of this stuff or whatever. Again, not complaining. And so for me, I mean, it was a good way, like I like to do, get distracted from life, you know, whether it's like lately.
And it's interesting, right? Storage units are interesting because they all tell a story.
But I sold a garage door opener from it within a couple of days of listing, you know, for what, $19. This kitchen counter thing from Corning for $12 that sold in a couple of days. Ronco Dialomatic food slicer.
There was a lot of media
$19.99
in there too. A lot of books, a lot of cassettes.
I looked up finally last week or the week before a bunch of the tapes and just not worth, you know. So I donated a bunch, and then I kept like the old school country, like Statler Brothers and Kenny Rogers 8-tracks and tapes, and some Christmas ones. Don't have an 8-track player right now, but you know. Let's see what else. And then, yes, then of course some older things have been selling too, which is nice, you know. Oh yeah, I need to list some more eBay.
Those are good money too. You run across.
Poshmark.
So I guess the reason, like if you're an everything seller, storage units are great, right? Because you're typically your cost of goods are cheap. Like that unit was packed. It was like a 10 by 30, floor to ceiling, like so much. Like there was probably $7,000, several $1,000s worth of items in there. But with my business model of niche down to shoes and clothing, it doesn't really work. And like for me, it would be better for me to have relationships with storage unit buyers where they sell me the shoes and the clothing that they come across. But as an everything seller, storage units are great. And I will still occasionally look on there for units, because sometimes I'll find a storage unit that's like almost all clothing or all shoes. And those,
yeah, there was like one today. I wasn't serious, but it was like $30, and I'm like, oh, that's close. That looks like mostly probably not much worth anything, but you know, I was like, if you spend 30 for me, if I just did it alone, I'd be like, I don't have to find much. I'm not trying to be Justin, who, like, I haven't watched his videos lately, but he's found some insane, I don't know what he's paying for these, but like he's found, I mean, units that are, he's probably paid up, but he's going to make tens of thousands or something, or hundreds off of, like, feels like it was like Pokemon or something. I just see some of his Facebook posts, you know.
Yeah, and it's great if you want to make content. Like if you look at some of the people on YouTube with the bigger channels, Wade's Venture, Grimes. Gosh, I haven't been watching content on YouTube. The Pirate.
Oh, I watched. Pirate. Oh, hey Tommy, I watched Bobby Krillin on Mike, you know, flipping goodies the other night. And I knew Bobby was growing his hair out, but I hadn't seen him in like probably a month or something. And man, he looks so different now with that super long hair.
Mike's growing out the locks.
No, this guy Bobby Krillin used to be his channel name. Then he changed it to Long Story Short. He's like me, like, hey, I'm going to tell you a short story, and it's
a meandering story.
It's long. And Krillin is just so funny because we used to love it. Tommy and Tracy would have him on, and he'd be like driving to the Taco Bell. He's up in, like, I think Long Island, and or the like all night bagel shop, which of course they'd only have up in the Northeast. He sells men's clothing, like nice, like stuff like Kevin, and you did for a little bit with your suits. Bobby knows that world, well. But no, Mike looks the same, of course.
So, all right. So Val's, and we kind of got sidetracked, Val. I don't know if you can still talk. Like, so Val mostly been focusing on your garden, happy times, which I love. Like for me, that's hiking, which is my dream. And I've even talked about this with my wife, and maybe here in the future, maybe in three years or so, when my youngest graduates from high school, like my dream is to move to Colorado. Like I love the Arvada area, kind of like outside of Denver. But I love Colorado. I like every place I've ever been, because that's my happy place. Outside nature, cooler weather, trees. So your garden in Colorado must be amazing, by the way, during the summer. Is your happy place. So what besides your garden, what else is going on, and like what are your kind of plans reselling wise?
Let's see here. Well, when I was in the back room before the stream started, I was telling you I was going through my death pile here.
Mm-hmm.
So oh, there goes Clay. So back last year, what year? God, what year am I in?
2022.
2022. Back before I got my news about the cancer or whatever. I was going to the bins and I was sourcing a lot for just in case. So when I was doing that, I was just focusing on getting as much as I could because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So now I have a ton of stuff in my death pile. I would love to get it all listed, or not all of it. Like I'm going through some of it and I was just picking up, sure, this will sell. And I mean, there's good stuff in there too, but a lot of it is just like,
bread and butter. Is it like a lot of bread and butter?
Yeah. So my goal is just to get through my death pile. Like I want to have some cushioning, but like it's ridiculous the amount of stuff I have out in my shed.
So are you all right? And I want to talk about this later, like sourcing and ASP. So as you're going through your death pile, are you planning on just listing like just whatever's on top, or are you like going to sort it kind of like by ASP or what'll sell faster?
Oh, sorry. What's going on?
No problem.
Whatever's on top, I'm just listing as I go. That way it's just faster and I don't have to restore stuff.
You don't have to waste time thinking about it either. I like that approach a lot. So do you have listing goals, or you hours, or like what's Val's method to reselling?
No, I don't really have a plan of attack.
Sorry, I was on another tab finishing this listing. I'm sorry, what did you say, Val?
I said I don't have a plan of attack for it. Like step one right now is just sorting through all the stuff. Well, I guess step one, in 2 weeks, not this Friday, but next Friday, me and my sister, we're going to have a garage sale. So all of those bad pickups that aren't going to make me that much money, I'm just going to sell on the garage sale, get some of my money back.
I like that.
So that's step one, I guess.
So you're not sourcing. You're not going to the bins currently.
Well.
Okay. So we got the death pile, but we're still sourcing.
I shouldn't be going to the bins. I still go to garage sales, and I've been to the bins 2 weeks in a row, 2 weekends in a row.
Okay. So we're working on the death pile. We're still sourcing a little bit. We don't necessarily have a hard listing goal. Is it just kind of hours, or like contrast how Clay does his work-life balance with a Val? And if you don't want to talk about any of this, you don't have to, of course. I'm just curious. I like to hear how other people do it.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
So how does Val's? I mean, maybe you don't. How does Val schedule her days and weeks?
Oh,
How do we balance work and personal and garden time? Um, yeah. So what's Val's schedule, or does Val think about
question.
schedules or go with the flow?
So my mornings, I wake up, I go on my hike. That takes about an hour and a half every day.
So
Um,
jealous of you. And you're in. Hold on. Let me
it's a
say
good
you're
hike.
in.
It's a nice hike.
You're,
That's what that picture is. Um,
you're in
right there,
Colorado.
that's the hike I go on.
I'm so jealous. I envy you so much. So you're in Colorado Springs, correct?
No, I'm in
No?
Canyon. That's about
Canyon.
45 minutes away from Colorado Springs.
Okay.
The prison capital of Colorado.
North,
Yeah, we are.
south, east, west.
Lock them
45
up.
45 minutes. Which direction from Colorado Springs?
Southwest a little.
Yeah,
Like,
that sounds right.
okay, so you're moving more towards like Durango-ish, right? Southwest. So you're in. Okay, all right. I got you. But go ahead. So you
Open
start
another
your day
tab.
with a
Find
hike.
it on the map. Yeah.
You start your day with a hike, which I love.
Do that. That's about an hour and a half of my day. Go to the post office. Over the summer, my dad had off because he works at a school. So we would spend an hour every morning watching Leave It to Beaver. That was a very important
Nice.
part of my day.
Hey,
Got
family
some
time.
dad time.
Like
I got to meet them when I was a little kid.
you got to
Really?
meet Val's
Yeah.
dad when you were a little kid.
They came. Yes. They
Weird.
came over, Val, and had lunch and swam and stuff with us.
What?
Yeah, my
Hey,
dad
tell
was
me
on the
the story.
Dallas City.
Tell everybody the story, Clay.
My
That's
dad
cool.
was on the Dallas City Council at the time, and so it was, I guess, 1980, because that's Dad's last year on the council, and he went to some event, that he probably got free tickets because he's on the council. So at that time, he and Mom are still together, and they went and they got to go like backstage. Maybe it's like a variety show or something. I don't know. And they got to talking, and Tony Dow, for those who don't know, he played Wally. He was like, "Oh, I love racquetball," and Dad was like, "Oh, well, in the house that I designed and that we moved into a couple years ago, I put a racquetball court in." And so I used it. Dad put like a little 6-foot basketball goal in a corner, and then my brother had a regular size goal, and then Dad would play racquetball. And so he was like, "Well, y'all want to come over tomorrow?" And so Wally, Tony brought his girlfriend, and then Jerry Mathers came. He ate the last chocolate donut. Not that I'm sore about it all these years later, but then I went around the neighborhood and like told every neighborhood kid, was like, "Wally and Beaver at our house," and it was like opening the front door, trying to let them get a peek, or whatever. But yeah, they came over and ate lunch and hung out for a few hours, and Tony played racquetball with my dad. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's cool. I'm gonna tell my dad this story. That's really cool.
I still love that show. Such a great.
It is a good show. Like Americana.
Right.
Okay.
So wholesome.
So Val, all right. So she goes hiking. Then she does Leave It to Beaver time with her dad. Family time. Okay.
And then come home, pick up house a little, dishes, laundry, whatever needs done. And then I do a few hours a day reselling. And then the rest of my day I spend out in my garden. That's about it.
That's a pretty pleasant day, to be honest. Like, so you got
stress-free,
hiking,
but yet I'm still making money. It's a good balance.
It is a good balance. It sounds like you're taking more self-care and keeping stress low.
Yes.
Is that kind of like intentional, or is that just like how things are working out?
No, it's intentional. Very, very intentional.
I love it. And so you're feeling good. You've hit that happy balance.
Yeah. I think for a while I was hitting a wall because I hate talking about like all the cancer stuff, but I was just like in a real low with reselling. Like I'd pretty much given up on reselling. And then I got back into it. Like something hit and I just like went full force, got back into it and had like a really good 3 months of reselling, but I went a little too hard and hit a wall, and like I was over it.
So burnout.
But yeah, but when I was in that flow, man, I was getting so much done every day. It was nice.
The guy
It
to
feels
your
nice.
right, he kind of knows something about that.
Who?
The guy to your right, the guy up here.
Oh, he's on my left.
Jeez.
Brian?
No, you're
to
right.
my right. Clay, you're to my. You're
There's
underneath.
Clay, and then to my left is Brian. Oh, wait.
No, see, yeah, see,
Was it different from different years? That's interesting.
yeah, see, you gotta, you're like, oh, there he is. Yeah. And now, yeah, it's not easy to.
Yeah, change it around. Okay. All right. So good balance.
But I would like to put more reselling in. Like my garden's gotten to a place where it's pretty much self-maintained. So I could put those hours.
Doyle has a question related to that. He says, and hi Jim, thanks for dropping by. Doyle says, what will you do for the winter when the garden is down?
Well, I also have a greenhouse. I'm not sure if I want to go that route yet. And then, like, I have all the stuff that I could grow through the winter.
Marijuana is legal in Colorado. You could reduce stress, make money, and be in a very happy place all at the same time.
Well,
yes. But that kind of gardening isn't as pretty as my flowers.
Oh, so pretty. The aesthetics is key.
Yeah.
And that I feel like you have to keep on the, I hate to use this term, the down low, because that could be a problem if people knew.
Yeah, you see people growing it, and you're just like, man, their yard probably gets broken into a lot.
Yeah, and if they're selling,
people aren't too secretive about it. Not everybody. Like you can tell when somebody has like a super high fence with like the privacy stuff, and there's like chain or barbed wire at the top. You're like, oh yeah, they're doing some gardening over there.
Okay.
Yeah, during the winter, I'm just gonna move. I have a lot of potted plants, so I'm gonna reorganize my laundry room. It's a pretty big laundry room, and that's gonna become kind of my flower area.
Nice.
Pretty flowers in the greenhouse. I like it. Sorry, I'm trying to. I've got 27. I've only got 3 listings to go. It is so hard to multitask.
Yeah, I know. It took me a little I'm trying to sell the Cowboys preseason tickets just to do a simple posting.
I got half a listing up.
Yeah, reselling something.
Thanks for dropping by, Joel. Okay. So reselling will probably stay about the same if the balancing a few hours a day, working through the death pile, sourcing a little bit. So when you source, knowing you have a death pile, does that change how you source?
Yes. So the first time we went 2 weeks ago, we went with the intentions of me just looking for stuff for my personal closet or for around the house. But it's hard when you're there to not look for stuff to resell. Like you're not just going to pass it up. But I am a lot pickier. Like the stuff in my living room that I'm going through, a lot of it's like, it's embarrassing to even sell this in a garage sale. Who's going to want this? Why did I pick it up?
What are some of the brands that you were picking up? I'm curious now. Like, so what is your bread and butter stuff that you just want to get rid of now?
There's like Adidas, but not like the trendy or like substantial. What is that?
So like basic Adidas.
Bread and butter. I was right by the kitchen. Sorry.
Yeah. Let me go grab my keep pile. So I don't know what's the biggest tote you can buy. Like 100 gallon? 200 gallon? It's like a huge tote. But let me go grab my small basket that I'm keeping.
Oh.
1 sec.
See, myself, I wouldn't necessarily I list that type of like I list basic Adidas. And I think for me, like that's an area I want to get better at. Like because I'll pick up Old Navy. Like I just listed Old Navy Rockstar jeans. Like that's
So
I sold those.
So what's the least amount that you would want to make on an item that makes it worth listing?
Great. Well, I think when you ask that question, like that question has to be looked at in context, right? Like if you're listing 5 a day and you're an everything seller, well, then I would probably set a minimum ASP of $30, you know, because your time is more valuable. If you're like me, where you're niched down into shoes and clothing, and then it still kind of depends. Like if I'm listing 15 a day, like when I was just doing shoes, like my minimum ASP was probably $30 for shoes. But now that I'm adding in clothing, I'm bumping up to 30. That's going to drop a little bit. And now it's probably $20. And as I increase that, like I want to get up to, like I know I could do it myself right now. Like if I'm listing 50 a day, I may not be able to find all $30 ASP items. That ASP may drop to 18, maybe drops under 20. But if you're very efficient and if you like for me, and it's right now I'm struggling listing my last couple of items because we're talking and I'm not focused. But like when I'm focused, I have a stack of jeans and shorts. It's off camera, one stack, and then beside it I have a stack of shirts and tops, and then I have a rolling cart of shoes. So those are my three queues, and I will start the day. Which all right. So for me, it's get up, go to the storage. Well, get up, coffee, stretch, storage unit, pull orders, ship. There's customer service and all that stuff mixed in right before I do shipping, offers to loggers, all that kind of stuff. And then usually I'm finished, I don't know, 9:30 to 10 on most days a.m. And then I will move into, I then fix some of my old listings. When I had a VA last year, they created some bad listings, and it's my fault because I'm like, here, create listings. I didn't know what I was doing. So how were they?
Sellhound.
Oh, Sellhound's horrible. Don't get me started on that. Don't even get me started. So I fixed 10 of those old listings per day, and that usually takes about 2 minutes per listing. And those will sell. And a lot of those brands I would never pick up. But here is part of my problem, and Clay knows this. Last summer and last spring, I was buying bulk jeans from Matt the Drunk Yard Dog, a friend of mine that was on our Daily Refinements group at the time, and getting hundreds, thousands of jeans at a really good price.
But
They're the good jeans, the brand carried them and they sold. So I was making a lot of money last spring. But then I still have a lot of jeans like Blank NYC, Gloria Vanderbilt, like lower brands I wouldn't necessarily pick up now that are still in there, and they were listed poorly with the VAs. The title structure wasn't good, so they're not turning up in search. Item specifics might be wrong. So part of my, like this morning, the 10 I fixed this morning were from June 28th of last year. So I'm over a year behind, and I have 5,200 items in my store, and hundreds, if not thousands, of those items are junky listings like that I need to fix. And sometimes part of the fixing is I'm like, this shouldn't even be listed. So I'll actually pull the listing and get rid of it. So, gosh, this is a long story. So I do that. After I finish that, I then go into my listing. I start with shoes. There's this kitty. I start with shoes, and the shoes are cleaned and prepped. I have a light box for shoes. I photograph. Usually I'll do, say, 10 at a time. I'll do 10 shoes, photograph. I then upload them to the computer. I'll launch my 10 shoes. I'm usually finished with that around lunchtime. You know, take a break for lunch. Sometimes watch my favorite show, Survivor, while I'm eating. And then in the afternoon, I'm switching to clothes. And then I'll do, say, and the numbers vary. Maybe it's 10 jeans. So then I'll move to jeans and shorts. And then those get shot in the light box. Then I'll do the 10 shirts and tops. Those get shot in the light box, upload those pictures to the computer, which is where I am right now. I'm finishing the work day, which I would have been finished, which is fine. I like talking, but I would have been finished probably about 4, and then I list those. So I don't know if that answers the question. I don't even remember what the question was. So I'm listing 30 a day currently.
You
Shoes.
talk like I did, Val.
Question
I'm
was,
kind of focused, but I don't know exactly what I'm. Say it again. What was that? What was the question?
Something on the lines, what's the lowest you'd want to sell an item
Oh
for?
my gosh. What is that? That doesn't even relate to your question.
He really did do a Clay of just.
So at 30 a day, I'm sure I'm trying to get $20 plus per item. With shoes, I want that to be higher, 30, 35 or higher. Like I sold a pair of boots the other day for 100 plus shipping. Like with shoes, it's very easy to get the higher ASP. With jeans, men's jeans, I can get higher ASP. Men's shirts, more bread and butter, but they're so quick and easy to list.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to factor in speed and how many listings you're getting up a day. Like if I can only list 5 a day, my ASP would be higher.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm listing 30, 40, 50 or more listings per day, I can do the volume approach as long as I'm fast with doing it. Hopefully that answers it kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I think my current eBay is $24. That's what it shows. And it's a mix of shoes and clothes.
So the lowest I ever want to make on Poshmark, at least, is 10. Like, I'm disappointed if I made $10, but it's like that's like my bare minimum, and then I know not to pick that up anymore. But this pile I have right here, this is just a small handful of the stuff, but just to give you an example of the stuff that I'm gonna put in the garage sale because it's not worth my time. So just like a pair of Marmot, whoops, where's my camera? Like hiking pants, but I looked up. Oh God,
Just so
my
we
own
can see
face
what
just
you're
scared
showing.
me.
Here, we'll do it this way. Oh,
Good
nope.
God, my own face just scared me. That's sad.
You're such a dork.
So like, there's nothing special to them. If they would have been like a full length pair of hiking pants, sure, I'd list them. But I'm just gonna throw them on the garage sale.
Yeah.
See, I would still be listing more. Oh man, I guess. Okay.
A band tee, they were selling for like $12 for that band, and I feel like it's not a very popular band.
So you're factoring sell-through, right?
It's gonna be sitting there a while.
How long does it take you on average to do a listing? So that's the equation, right? Because if you're making $10 profit is minimum, like how many minutes if you factored in sourcing, shipping, listing, photography? Well,
when I was on a roll, I was doing 15 a day, but that was the full thing of photographing, measuring, listing it, putting it in its bags for inventory, and taking it out to my shed and doing it and steaming it if it needed. But that was like the whole thing, the whole caboodle. I can do 15 complete in a day.
Okay. And so in your day was what, like say 4 hours?
Well, it takes me all day. Honestly, the inventory part takes me a while. So that's when I do the measuring and I lint roll everything, fold it nice, put it in the bag, put it in a Ziploc bag. And then my inventory is different than yours. Like yours, I think you kind of just put them all in and scooch over as you go. Mine's in numerical order. So it's a little different, which I did it that way for, like I had it organized that way for cancer because my dad helped me get inventory from my shed. So I could just give him a number and he'd go out there and grab it for me.
Oh, nice.
And it sort of just stuck because it's
so all day.
Case anybody can do my inventory system in case something happens again.
That's really smart, by the way. I like that. So all day 6 hours, you think?
Yeah, I'm a pretty slow lister.
Okay. So
it depends too. Like when I do vintage stuff, it takes me a while because I want to comp and make sure, you know, I'm selling that $400 Harley Davidson tee and not for $30.
Yeah.
But when it's just like the bread and butter, like Under Armour, whatever, it goes faster.
So if you're spending that amount of time, then that makes more sense then. Like, yeah, you would want, if you're putting that much time into each listing, like the stuff you're throwing in the pile, I would list most of that stuff. But for me, it takes me Takes me a minute to
That
photograph and measure, and on average 3, maybe 4 minutes to actually list. So I'm 4 to 5 minutes, probably 4 minutes per listing, maybe 5. So like if I make $10 profit and I'm spending 5 minutes actually listing, like that's $2 per minute. That's like $120 per hour. So if that time is extended, then I would not want to list the lower profit items. What is that?
It's pink. My light's way too bright. It's washing everything out. But like it's just a t-shirt.
Right.
And I have been pulling some stuff aside. Like I have a pile of Nike and I have a pile of Athleta that I'm gonna do boxes with, because I did some not so mystery boxes before, and those actually sold really good and really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like same day I listed them, they sold.
Not so mystery boxes. I like that.
So I'm gonna do those again as I pick through. Like this one is Empire. Like it'll sell. The comps on it were like $10 sold. I don't know. It's just
Ella.
so
like
so when you garage sell, like what are you expecting to get back per piece on the garage sale?
Oh, me and my sister do ours really cheap to move stuff out. So we'll probably have all clothing at like 50 cents and shoes at $1. So
is most of that bins stuff?
Yeah, and my cost of goods.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Well, it's 90 cents. Typically it's around 90 cents. But that's just me averaging it. Obviously, like all of these t-shirts are less than my average cost of good, but
yeah, the heavier, Tommy, I was going to ask if you were still doing your stuff that way, and it looks like
it almost. And of course, here's me just brainstorming again. So because you're listing, and I'm not like picking on you or anything, but like since your listing is relatively slow, and it may be like the perfectionist. Here, that's number 28. It's talking about slow. They're like these listings have been glacially slow because I'm really distracted. Like a lot of that stuff I would sell. Like what you're all right. So what a lot of that stuff is like if you're listing 50 a day or more. A lot of that's bread and butter.
Which I'm just a slow lister.
So what? Talk to me about your list. Let's figure out your listing process. So it might even make sense for you, like for you to list items that you want to list because you have access to good inventory. Cheap, like almost a wholesaler. Like hey Val, like you figure out what like you source for me, and maybe every so often I come up there and pick up a bunch of inventory. And I don't know,
like how we both bought from Greg, and other people have too.
Yeah, Greg, Rocky
took a bunch. Like when Tommy used to do the show, I figured out that I don't know. It seemed like 5-10 people at least every now and then. Greg would.
Yeah, he supplies me regularly still.
All the crap he doesn't want to sell, which is clothes and shoes.
Yeah, if you have access to good stuff, it's like it's a shame that garage sale prices when you could at least maybe wholesale it for a little bit more.
Yeah.
So what does your listing process look like if you want to talk about it, Val? Since you said it's slow, like what's I got two more listings I'm done for the day. Like what does it look like? Or why is it slow?
Oh, sorry. I lost my window. Let me see here.
Well, a lot of that stuff, Tommy, if you price it correctly and you have good titles and maybe promoted, like I have no problem selling something that I pick up for $1 for $10 plus shipping. I usually make a little bit on shipping too, but I don't want it to set for years. And I have a markdown strategy where things get promoted after 30 days. And then I do an increasing markdown sell the longer an item is in inventory.
Yeah, I got an offer on a pair of shoes in your store because I got some like coupon in the email, or something like that.
Oh, for me?
Let's look at Brian's store. I think I've looked at your store once ever. And so I liked the pair of shoes. And then an offer was automatically sent, and it was like, 40%. And I'm like going, just because they're shoes, I'm not going to give into that problem again.
Yeah, and I do all that.
A closet built for my 20 pairs of shoes I bought back in February and March.
Come on, you got to support. What is my eBay store?
Local resellers.
Souls
to souls. Or souls for souls, yeah.
But here's the thing, Tommy, and I want to get back to you, Val. Tommy says the amount of work for little return is what causes burnout. But if you think about it, 90% of what sells on eBay is under $30 ASP. And of that, the majority of, like, the average sell price on eBay is at $12 plus. And I think that includes shipping. So it might be $9 plus shipping if it's a first class, say a t-shirt, or $8 plus shipping. So if you focus on the higher ASP, then, and in your situation with all those, the access to all those great shoes, it's a no-brainer, right? Like you assume you still have that deal, that's a no-brainer. But if you, like, I think about Tech and Sports, he lists 250 per day, and a lot of his items are selling at that $10 to $20, where there's lots of buyers, especially now with the economy, there's lots of buyers. And I will say this, if you niche down, and my store is at 5,200 items, every day I get multi-quantity orders. I'll have somebody that'll come in and they'll buy 5 or 6 may only be $10, $15 each, but their order adds up. And they wouldn't be able to do that necessarily if I was selling only $80 shoes. You then really narrow that market of people that can afford to buy that, which is why I'm at my current, like, I do have the higher ASP shoes, and they do sell great, like what Tommy's saying. I love that. But I also had time on the table. I had half a day, and I have access to cheap inventory where people will pay $10, $20, $30 for an item. So why not get it all is kind of like my current mentality. But if I was spending a lot of time listing, kind of like what Val is saying, then that wouldn't make sense either. But if you can get a listing up in 3, 4, 5 minutes, and you can list a lot of listings per day, then that volume, that Walmart style store really, really does. It makes more money. The biggest selling stores on eBay, they sell the most volume. Like Tech is doing like $8,000 a day gross on his store. He's killing it. And most of his items are because he's got it really efficient, and he scaled it, and now he has 2 workers listing. So that model, I think, can make the most total money. But anyway, all right. So that's my response to Tommy. So Val, all right. So back to your question, so what's taking you? Why do you think it takes a long time to list?
One sec. I'm opening up some windows.
And what's paused on the TV behind you, Val?
Laguna Beach.
Nice. Is that the new one? Aren't they doing a new one or something?
No, this is the old one from back in the day.
Oh, they did a Hills new thing, right? I think. Or something.
Sorry, I'm trying to get some examples up. So
Ryan, I'm finally going to list some of the shoes from our unit back, like in October or something here. These Mangnani, whatever. When we drafted, the shoes.
Share my screen. Okay. So I think the number one thing that takes me the most time, ignore my closet tools. I won't minimize.
Won't tell me
is my photos. Like, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my photos. I know I don't need to be, but I am. So like in this photo, I use what is it? The tape you use when you paint that you like.
The painter's tape?
Yeah. So I use that to like stick my sleeves and give it shape when I photograph, which does take up a bit of time. And I was just thinking, as you're asking me what takes so long, back when Josh from Lotta Josh was making videos, he has one on his table that he uses to photograph, and his is like it folds up at an angle. So he's flat laying his image. Yeah, he's flat laying it, which I think would help me a lot since like I feel the need. I can't not do it. Put the tape and make it look perfect. But I think if I had the table.
That's what Todd in Minnesota, what's his name? He has like it's kind of like a drafting table or something in his basement. Have you seen it? Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, but that sounds like what Josh uses.
Yeah, he got a bunch of daylight bulbs and just has a bunch of lamps, like without the shades. And so he just, bends over a little bit and he can flat lay it at a slight angle, like, where he's not bending over all the way. But yeah, Brian and I used to talk about something like that before he got the Tommy says
I have a
produce table from the grocery store.
So the next thing I think that takes me time is the older vintage stuff, looking up comps.
All right, hold on, let's go back to pictures. So
hold on.
So how many minutes per listing are you spending on photos? Do you think? And what helped me is actually measuring all this stuff. Like once I started measuring it, I started noticing the inefficiencies, like where I was wasting time.
I mean, it takes a few minutes. It doesn't take crazy long, but like I know I could be going through this a lot faster. Like I think if I flat laid, it would easily be half the time because I'm not sitting there taping the stupid shirt up. And I think that's just a little bit of like my OCD that needs the shirt to have shape to it. And I think I have the space to do that in my Poshmark room. And even if no, I don't want to do it on the floor. I've done that before. When I first started, I took my photos on the floor and my back would just be killing me.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it. Like I have the light box for it would be faster to do the flat lay on the floor, but especially at 6'4", there ain't no way. Like my back, it would give out. So do you think the better pictures allows you to sell for higher ASP?
Definitely.
Okay.
Like my closet is priced higher. Like when I comp, I put my stuff at the higher end because I know it's going to sell for that. And I'm the same way. Like I'm a little snobby when it comes to me buying stuff. Like, yeah, I'm going to buy the one that looks nicer. I know it's not going to come smelling and I know it's not going to come stained or anything, which is just me judging a book by the cover. But
it's not going to be snobby.
Snobby.
I feel like you had said it like a better way, snobby.
Yeah, I want to show my. Once you're done, I want to show my like a listing I did today.
So this one's an older listing, and I think this is also what takes time. Is I used to write it out. Like I don't know if you can read all that. Tommy Hilfiger vintage Y2K denim skirt, fitted pencil skirt, 100% cotton, zip and button fly. Like it's all in sentences and proper and
real speaking.
Yeah, it's not like sophisticated by any means, but it's more effort that needs to be. So here's my current. Oops.
Oh, when I started and I had I was doing the note card system like Brian, I also had like a little book and now it's like the least amount I can do.
So here's my current listings.
Okay, so your current ones are more just.
So I have my little sticky notes and I copy and paste and I just fill it out. No sentences. It's just
good.
Brand, size, item, color, material, condition, flaws, approximate measurements.
I think that's easier to read for a buyer. Like as an ex-teacher, I know, man, I don't like to read. So I love that you put that effort in, but I think it's actually harder.
Yeah.
For most people in our society who can't read to go through that.
Yeah. So I think this will speed me up. Since I've switched to this format, I don't think I've actually had like a full day of listing, like doing the whole process, which this does speed it up quite a bit. So maybe that's, well, it is a big part of what was taking me so long.
So when you sit down to do the listing, so you've taken your pictures, is that on on your phone camera, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I do it on my phone and then I upload from my phone onto the Poshmark app and eBay.
Okay. And that's a little bit, that's taking a little longer to that versus doing it directly on the computer. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have the setup to do it onto a computer. The laptop I use in my Poshmark room is like it barely prints off my labels. That's about all I can ask of it.
Okay.
So I'd either have to get a new laptop or I mean, cameras these days are smart. If I used like my actual digital camera, I'm pretty sure it could Bluetooth to this computer right here that I'm on.
See, but that's the thing, like the blue. Well, it depends on what your goal. Like I look at it from efficiency and speed.
Mhm.
Like any type of Bluetooth drop upload takes longer, and you have the chance of errors. The fastest is like I use an Android. I have a Galaxy, and then I do the USB upload, and say for 30 pictures, it maybe 2 minutes to upload all that. And I found like I've done all like the way you've done it, I've done that in the past too, and this is just way faster. So it depends on your goal. Like if you're trying to improve speed and efficiency, then you would want to break it down like each area. Like if that's not important to you, then obviously it doesn't matter. And it doesn't seem like you're trying. And I don't want to encourage you like, oh, you've got to list more and be faster. I'm just kind of giving my perspective of like if you're trying to do that, then those are the things you want to look at.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy with doing 15 a day, but I mean, if I could make that more efficient and less steps, I'd be happy to. Especially with the uploading the photos. Like I don't know a way around that. Because it does take.
Yeah, I can help you with that if that's something you're interested. Like let me show you like a listing of mine, and I'll kind of walk you through what that looks like on my end, and you can give feedback if you like. All right, so here are my active listings. Like I just listed this one, so all right. Now here's one thing I do. Here's one of the things I do because that's not recommended in our group. Like anything that adds time is frowned upon. I use Photo Room, and Clay uses it as well. I pay for the yearly membership. I think it's what, like $60, $69, Clay, something like that.
Yeah, it's so far it's worth it to be able to do the batch deal. Yeah.
Yeah, and so say if I do 30 listings and I list on my phone, I use the pro settings where I can control the ISO, like different settings. But then I will use Photo Room for the first picture of each listing. And Photo Room is quick. Like to do a batch of 30, it maybe takes 90 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's fast. That's the only reason I use it. And it gives you that pure white background. Like this is from Photo Room.
So does it batch edit them, or do you have to do each one?
You can pay. That's what we're saying. Yeah. If you pay for the first level, that's not, the first pay level, you can.
Yeah, you can batch. Like you can pick.
I went on and did that like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, you can batch edit. Like and I can show you here in a minute what that looks like. And these are the unedited. You can see it's not as crisp, but the colors, it still shows the accurate color. And so I do one picture like the front, then I do the bottom half, 2, 3 is the top half, 4 a close up, 5 is the back, 6 back bottom, 7 back top, 8 back pocket. Ooh, that's upside down. See, I did this while we were talking. That needs to be. Oh, Lord. See, this is what happens when you don't focus. Then I do the the fly. Let me fix that. Gosh, that's bad.
But you do use a camera, right? Like not a
I
cell
use my
phone?
phone. No, I use my cell phone camera.
Oh,
He did what, a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
maybe that's what
try.
I'm thinking. Mhm.
Like there are some Canons that are really good. Like if I wasn't going, I've used my camera because it uploads. Like if you have an iPhone, I think it's a little more difficult. But like for for the Android, the USB connection is fast. The upload is fast.
Hmm.
So I'm okay with that.
Do you still use the lanyard around your neck?
Yeah, I use a lanyard when I photograph.
Okay, just curious. I figured you did.
Here, let's take a look at this offer real quick. I'm getting sidetracked. So I don't know if you can see, but I have a lanyard because I realized when I was taking pictures, I was constantly putting my see here's an example, Tommy. I was constantly putting my phone down. Sometimes I was misplacing it. And so with this, it's just hanging on my neck. So that saves me time. Like I'm constantly looking for time savings. Now, like this shirt right here, it's listed at $10.99. I just picked this up this week. There's nothing special about this. This is a Levi's button-down shirt, long sleeve flannel. Well, no, I didn't pick it up this week. I've actually had it for a little while, but like I probably paid $1 for this. Actually, let me look at that tag. That looked like a vintage tag.
You still have a storage unit?
No, that's not vintage. Yeah. I have 3 storage units.
Oh.
So like I paid $1 for this and it's $5.99 shipping. This will probably ship for $3-4. So, I'll probably only make $8-9 profit on that. And I've probably had it for 3 or 4 months, is what I would guess. I don't know exactly. But here's another factor. When you're talking about like how long something's sitting and sell through rate, it depends on, are you storing, I had an error, but are you storing the item in your house where you're not paying anything extra? Is your storage cheap? Here in Texas, our storage is fairly cheap.
Well, where you are.
Well, yeah, it varies. If you're in,
Not in Dallas.
Well, mine's free. I have a tough shed.
See that, and
Yeah.
that's great. So you can, if you're not, because there's a cost for storing your item. Like I have 5,000 items. I probably have the capacity for 8, 9, 10,000 items in my storage units. I'm paying $500 a month. So it's like I'm paying basically 10 cents per item per month to store them. So if something sat for a whole year, that's like $1.20. I mean, it does add up over time, but typically I want things gone within 6 months, like a year max. But that's just one of many factors. And so, and here's what my description looks like. I just paste the title, which I don't even know if you need, and I use eBay's templates. I have one for jeans, one for shirts, one for shoes, and I just put this little like actual measurements and inches, compare to your clothing. Pre-owned clothing may vary due to washing and drying. Then I just plug in these numbers: the waist, the rise, the inseam, the hem, and I put same or next day shipping because I ship fast, and I include 30-day free returns. And I encourage people to follow my store. Like eBay is focused on getting repeat buyers, and I have seen for myself an increase in repeat buyers, and that's what I want. I want people that come back every month and they're repeat customers. That's why I sent a lot of those coupons and all those offers and whatnot. Like today, I think I shipped out 20 something items and I had, I think 3 or 4 multi-quantity orders, and I had 2 repeat buyers. Like eBay will let you know who your repeat buyers are, even on an offer. So if I have a repeat buyer and they send me an offer that's a little bit less than what I normally want to take, I'm probably going to take it because that's a repeat buyer. Like, what is better than a customer that's going to continually keep coming back to your store? Like, that's the golden goose. And Yeah, I'm just rambling right now. So that's an example of listing. Like that listing probably took me, and it's a little bit slower because I haven't been doing close in months. Let's just say it took me 5 minutes to that listing. A minute for photos and measurements, half, and then call it 3.5 minutes to do the listing.
There it is.
So if I'm like on those jeans, they're listed at $39.99, even if they sell for like $25, and I'm now mostly sourcing at the bins as well in garage sales. So I'm maybe in those jeans $2. But even on that shirt, like that shirt, if I'm listing that shirt in say 4 minutes, because shirts are so quick to list, even if I make $10 profit, like that's $2.50 per minute. Like I look at it a little differently. So you gotta factor in the speed if into this picture.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. I don't know. I just spewed a lot of information.
Oh, another thing that slows me down that I'm realizing, when I list at the computer, I always have either a movie or YouTube playing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I do podcasts because I can listen and work. But yeah, if I was doing a movie, like I've got it away from YouTube. I just do podcast, and I'll listen to the calls in our group, like Chris and Tech's group. Like today, I'm listening to Tech's call from Tuesday. There's a shoe call which I usually attend if I'm not sourcing, which is really good. There's a men's jeans call. If I don't, there's a women's like the group, man. There's so much good knowledge. Like there's a guy named Andy in our group. Like he does men's jeans, and like his ASP is probably 35. I'm guessing here. He hasn't said this, but like he sells jeans for so much money. Like he's a true expert in jeans. Like like I thought I knew jeans. I know nothing compared to Andy.
He's the true Dr. Denim.
He is the true Dr. Denim.
PhD.
But anyway, like all those.
Can't believe that popped in my head. Wait, what's your name? Yeah, you went back to Texas. Yeah, Texas.
What's your name?
It has been Texas Treasures for a long time now.
I know.
I haven't even made a video. Like this is the first live in months, but
for any of us, it's the first thing.
but here's the thing. Like, so I listen to the podcast now, like Andy's, because he shows a lot of examples. I know I can't really watch his video. Like I'll listen to Tech's video because it's mostly talk. But like if there's a video related, then I know I need to do that at the end of the day or during free time because I can't work. Like right now, those 2 listings are going to get done today, and that's okay. Or maybe they'll get done later tonight. They'll take me a couple minutes to finish. But like I can't watch the videos and list because I'm gonna make mistakes on my listing. Like I host the book club call, and we did The One Thing and Atomic Habits, and like this whole idea of multitasking, it's horrible. You can't multitask. You're switching from task to task, and there's a time cost every time you switch task. Like they've studied it. You lose about, I don't know the exact percentage, but it's about a 30% cost in time because you can't go from what you were doing, switch task, and then go right back. Like it takes you a second, even if you don't realize it. So it's very inefficient to do it that way. So for me, switching to listening to podcasts, and even that honestly probably cost me a little bit because I am tuning in to a degree, and that's slowing me down a little bit. But watching video is way less.
Yeah, I can't really work with. Like I'm getting some stuff done. I took pictures of 2 pairs of shoes and kind of cleaning, but it's like I know I have to have pretty much dead silence if I want to, like, study something, read a book. There can't, that's why, like, when I watch TV, that's it. I can do that and play on my phone, but I can't, I can hardly, like, if I'm going to clean even, just clean, no, just silence, just do what you got to do. And I guess that's also, when I run, not that I do now, but when I used to run marathons, I tried listening to music at first. All I ended up doing was carrying a stupid iPod and headphones for 26 miles. Not like it weighs a lot, but it always annoyed me at the end when I just wanted to be done, having extra crap in my pockets, you know. So I finally realized I'm not going to listen to music. Stop carrying it with you, you know. I'll find someone to talk to, of course, for a little bit.
Can we see your light box? This is new to me. I didn't know you had a light box.
Oh yeah, you don't remember it was at the apartment. Remember, it was like right next to the sofa and took up like a huge. Here, better. So there. Yeah, it's in the dining room right now. I'll be moving it because Mom is giving me her dining room table. She's already given me these white chairs here, you know, and she's giving me this like really cool mirror and a buffet. I've got to find someone who will redo the table and buffet because I'm not a fan of dark wood. So because she bought some stuff, there's a cool website for furniture called Cherish, and it's like used furniture and rugs and all that. And so she found stuff that she liked. So I'll actually have like a dining room here soon. Not that I'll have anybody over, but you know. So the light box, but I'm going to do some, I have a friend, her boyfriend's going to help me like build some walls and things. I'm going to like find a place near the garage door to kind of hide the light box, I think, you know. So I can bring the stuff right in to the laundry room or something, take pictures, take it right back outside, you know, or something to the garage where the storage is.
Where do you photograph your clothes at?
The ones I've done since I've been here, just out like on my piece of gray cloth I bought a few months ago, and just driveway or the back fort patio, just flat lay. But yeah, I finally set this up the other day. I had to text Brian. I was like going, I can't figure out totally. I was like, is this the top or is this the front of the light box? He's like, I think the front. I was like, yeah, I think so too. I hadn't had this thing set up since my apartment, which I moved here a little over, I don't know, like 13, 14 months ago. And I've listed since I've been here, but I don't know not a whole lot, you know, some last fall, but I guess I just did it outside probably. So I figured, yeah, I'm in trying to organize like and really clean and get the house, you know, more house-like, because it's messy. I'm a messy person, not dirty, just messy. But now that I want to choose paint colors and, you know, make it my style, habit stacking takes everybody nowhere.
Yeah, I was just responding to Tommy.
Yeah.
So, all right, here, let me.
I know. I like y'all's like it's like they're jousting, but they're doing it on like miniature horses, whereas in the past they would have jousted.
By the way,
full horses. Now they're miniature horses, like with a Nerf.
HBO, the new Game of Thrones. I'm actually reading the book. And, awesome. Speaking about jousting, that was in the
so wait, Dragon. The new Game of Thrones thing is also a book.
Yeah, well, George R.R. Martin wrote it. It's the prequel to the.
I didn't know that he wrote that. I thought HBO had just made the series up.
No, it's focused on the Targaryen. It's kind of very Tolkien-esque.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I loved all the fantasy, all that type of stuff. So.
Here, real quick, Val, has the Lord of the Rings show started yet or not?
No, I think it comes out on the 1st.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm down for that too, for the record.
I might have to pay for Amazon for a few months just to, you know, watch it. Then I'll get rid of Amazon.
Clay's always adding. Yeah, I feel you.
You have like 8 shows going at once.
Clay has a chart of shows, and
I'm watching Something About Pam for the 3rd time on the Peacock app, which is a crazy true story. If you don't know it, look it up.
All right. So Tommy said, imagine paying for everything and not having a spouse, that or pension. It's a little confusing, Tommy.
Why is that not turning on?
Or other forms of income prices. All right. So I think what he's getting at is if you got a lot of inventory, a big store, that you need that money. Well, like for me, I have a 5,200 item store, and and I spent about 8 hours. Bookkeeping went out. Like I'm using like I'm doing manually bookkeeping, and it's actually so easy and it takes very little time. But like last month during a slow month, after I took out, like you have your gross sales, and I took out all my expenses, all my goods, everything except for the tax I have to pay to Uncle Sam. Like I still netted like right at 8,000 during a slow month with a lot of bread and butter items. That's 96,000 a year if it was just all on a slow month. So over $100,000 a year with those items. Like that's a lot more than I was making teaching, and that number is actually going to be higher. And here's the thing: I don't worry about pricing, dropping pricing, or coupons. It's all about habit stacking and creating a system. So for me, like well,
I hate that
it's
term.
systems. It's systems. It's systems. And so each morning, to create a coupon, it takes 20 seconds. There's no worry to do that. To do the markdown sales, I do that on the first of each month. It takes 15 minutes. I have a system. I don't worry about that. It takes 15 minutes to do my sales for the month. Promoted listings, I have a system where each morning I have my items sorted from oldest to newest. Any item that's 30 days or older, I promote. That takes 30 seconds. There's no worry attached. So like all these things I do to create sales that eBay has created for me, they take seconds or minutes per day. They're no worry. They're built into my habit which is like Atomic Habits talks about habit stacking, right? You add a habit to a habit you already have. And so there's zero mental space attached to any of this, but they're all very productive tools. Now, if I didn't do any of that, if I just set it and left it, then that would create worry because the stuff wouldn't be selling. So I think there's a different paradigm. There's a way of looking at things. And obviously my paradigm is different than the way you look at it, Tommy. And I'm not saying your ways. I think your way is great because if you have great items that are in very high demand that sell for great money, you're right. You don't have to do as many of those things, but it's much harder to get that inventory. Like if I had nothing but Hoka Ones, I wouldn't have to do all the work I'm doing right now. There's a guy in our group that's kind of like has a hookup like Tommy, and he's killing it. Like he's doing 50K every 90 days. It's because the quality of the goods is the most important thing. But I don't have that right now. I have a mix. I do have some items that sell for 100 plus, but most of my inventory is going to sell. It's like that Levi's shirt, right? It's going to sell for $10 plus shipping, or I sell a pair of jeans for $20 plus shipping. But my cost of goods is cheap, and that is an advantage. And then Tommy's other comment was, I go by real world, done them all, and compounding money is the best. Flip an item 3 to 4 times a year, and I agree with that. You do want to flip it as fast as possible, and the more desired an item, the faster you can flip those. So, but there are different ways to do it. There are different business models that can make you money. Like I used to always think, well, I've told Clay this, that has to be like, I was always trying to convince people. I'm at peace now. Like there's different models, right? I love your model, Tommy, but there are also other models that can make a lot of money that work differently that are also very valid as well. So there's my spiel on business models. It depends on your goals. Like that, what do you want it to do? Like Val wants a balance, and that's great. Clay has his stew of activities, and that's great. Me, reselling is my only income right now. So, and what I want to do is I want to get my wife out of teaching here in the next 2 years. So I'm very driven. Like my goal is to be able to net 150K before my daughter graduates in 2 years, so my wife can come with me. We can even scale the business a little bit more. So
I keep encouraging him to just have his daughter drop out, get her GED, and Claudia go work the pole, and boom, done. But guess Claudia hasn't gone for that yet, and Emma just wants to be successful and go to college.
It's a little different when you've got people like depending on you, like kids and stuff. Like it's a little different. Tommy says it's all about what goes in your pocket. I'm not impressed by the number of listings or gross numbers. We quit work to have an easier life. So yeah, you're right. It is about what goes. That's why I said for me, like I didn't even mention my gross. My gross was about 2 times my net. Like I grossed about 16K in July, and I netted about 8K. You're right. It is about what goes into your pocket. But if you understand all the numbers, you can then reverse engineer it. Like how many listings per day, how many items in my store. Like you can then kind of project what's your sell-through rate. You can then kind of project where what's your ASP. You can then project how much money you're going to make. And if you want to have an easier life, and that's great. And that's the beauty of eBay, right? Like you can set up your business model for whatever lifestyle you want. And I think that's the beauty. Tommy says, my goals are to enjoy life like I do. No stopwatches, no timers, multiple vacations, and buy more property. And that's great. That's great. But like all those efficiencies that you're putting down, like some of the most successful businesses in the world are all about that. But each to their own. I'm at a point where I want to make a lot of money to be able to do that too, to be able to buy properties, to take more vacations. But my situation is I'm at a different place, and we're all in different places. So we got to figure out what works for each of us.
Part of that's probably also because Tommy's old job of, who did you deliver for, Tommy? He was like UPS or FedEx for like 20 something years. So it's probably that like everything in a sense
that's a grind to me. See, to me, that's a much harder than grind.
But you know what I'm saying? Everything was probably in a sense on a timer. You got to boom, boom, boom. That's why now, cleaning some shoes and flipping the houses, because he's I think good at building and like doing work in these houses.
Yeah. So don't burn out. And this is a thing. And I haven't burned out. I haven't burned out. And the beauty of reselling is like I can put I build a draft bank too, where I have extra items in my draft bank where I can take time off. I can take a vacation and still get sales. And all that comes from efficiency, being able to list more. It depends on what you want. If you want to be 80 years old, listing 80 a day, more power to you. I don't necessarily want that. Like I want to work really hard probably over the next 10 years, make a lot of money, be able to diversify that into passive income, maybe real estate, vacation rentals. Like I was saying earlier, I want to be able to move to Colorado and enjoy outdoors. And I'll probably always resell it. At that point, maybe when I'm older, maybe I'm doing 10, 15 a day, kind of like what Val's doing, like in 3 or 4 hours a day. And at that point, I probably am just hitting the better quality items, because eBay is easy. Like it's not hard once you figure it out. Like eBay's kind of like magic. Wait,
we're going to get HIV because we do eBay? Like Magic got HIV? Sorry, too easy. Did you see that in the news to do the other deal? Like people are like saying he's donating blood just to give him a hard time.
Yeah, people are just
idiots.
That's troll.
Yeah.
They're so stupid. People are stupid.
I know that includes me and you both at times, but
yeah. Well, and the difference between UPS and like running I think it's different. Like honestly, if I was working for someone, like I wouldn't want to do that. But because it's my own business, I want to maximize it and make it very efficient. And here's the thing, like it sounds very stressful, but like it's really actually easy. Like once you get all these systems figured out, like I don't always have a stopwatch on. Like I use the stopwatch when I was trying to figure things out, like how can I make this a little bit faster? what are the areas, what are the bottlenecks that are slowing me down. But once you figure that out, I haven't timed myself in forever, and I just move at a nice pace, but it's easy. I'm selling similar off my listings. If you niche down and you're selling the same things, you don't have to spend time researching comps.
My internet again, or oh, God,
things. It's actually the opposite. The efficiency in the schedules allow freedom. Like when I was saying, when I was doing 15 shoes a day, I was done by lunch, and if I wanted to stay at that was producing good money. Like I
how
could
much
stay at
here?
that.
Now look, you've had your store for way longer than me, or not a ton longer, but like just more success. How much, give or take, would you say you were making in that 6-7 months of just the shoes, of like 15 a day?
Well, of course it's hard because during that time I was still selling clothes.
Yeah, you had, yeah, of course.
But the shoes, like listing 15 a day, I was probably selling 9-10 a day.
Okay.
They were probably average profit 15 to 20. Let's just say $20 profit per shoe.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you're selling 10 a day, 20 profit, $200.
God, yeah, if I did that.
And then, eventually that would have got to 15 shoes per day selling. So it would have got to 300 per day. So yeah, I think shoes is a great way to go.
Especially with the bins being bigger now.
And I'm gonna still keep selling shoes, and I could try to scale shoes, but there's also just so much clothing out there. I don't know.
You just got to be ready to sweat to the oldies at the bins in the big room now.
Oh, that big room's hot. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Isn't it weird? Like when they first expanded it, or even before they expanded it, it got warm where I felt bad for the workers. Like it was way warmer, a couple of months ago. And then I don't know, like, yeah, their AC must be out or something, clearly.
Yeah, I'll be glad since I think we obviously passed the peak 100-degree days nonstop, and with the rain, it's cooler. So
I know you walk out and you're like, oh, today's not so bad. It's only 93.
Yeah, I got to the bins last week. I got there at 8 when they opened, and I was there 2.5 hours. It was 10:30, and I was just like, my shirt was soaked with sweat. It was so miserably hot.
You almost should start, and me too, when I go like in the big room, then go over to the small room for a little while, which is still big.
Well, the big room,
air conditioning.
The air conditioned room is the newest stuff, right? And this is what I'm figuring out. And then
see, to me, it was the opposite. The new big.
Oh, is that where you think they're putting? Is that where the new stuff is coming first?
Yeah, because when you walk in, let's call that the old part. To me, that has the air conditioning somewhat. And then when you go into the other room, everything to the right is new. Because remember, they had that fence that lined up with the roll gate on the right, and they had bins, but they were all the books against the fence. And now they've added, I think I counted as 7 rows of 6 bins each.
Sounds about right.
Room, the one that I was just like, my glasses were slipping off, because it was sweating so much. And you're leaning over the bins.
Yeah. Fighting the ladies.
Oh, the one advantage, this lady I talked to a little bit last time. She was like, I need you earlier. She was like,
let me show you something about. Go ahead, Clay.
She was like, I couldn't reach across because you know how they have some of the bins, like the rows back to back.
Yeah, they're wide.
And so now that's an advantage for me or you that some people can't reach certain things. They're not even 5'7", or whatever.
So let me show you this, Val. This is the Dallas bins. Like they have clothes and shoes, and then they have a couple of rows of hard goods. So here's the thing at our bins. Like if you're not there when they open or within probably about 30 minutes, you're not going to get a shopping cart. Like they don't have enough shopping carts. Let me show you what I just ordered. Talk about
This is his
check this
old person basket here.
Yes.
You know, hey,
I'm
I
like,
just
okay.
realized, like, I don't know why he popped in my head. Well, because he taught me how to show a picture on your phone. But Jody, I haven't seen Jody anywhere on a live. So see, Val, I don't know if you can tell, but like that's before they really expanded it. All those giant boxes. They
Well, hold on,
moved-
Clay. I'm sharing my screen. I don't think she can see. Let me show this real quick, then we can show the picture.
Yeah.
So this is a jumbo folding shopping cart. It has like a 300-pound capacity, I think. It's 40 inches tall. It's like 2 by 2 by 40 inches tall. So this thing folds up. So this will be in my car. If I get there and there's no shopping cart, no problem. Wow. Pull out the jumbo shopping cart. I could load that bad boy with all the treasure finds in there. So
why I used to take that purple cart to the bins.
So yeah, so I'm like, okay, y'all don't have carts. There's problem solving. I got my own cart.
I've also grabbed a sheet, like a fitted sheet, and you just put your stuff in that and drag it on the
Smart.
floor.
But I usually, like my last time I was there, like I think I had 89 pounds in like 2.5 hours. So that would be kind of hard dragging that around. But
I always got lucky, and I would also check outside every now and
I
then.
don't want to do that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what people like. You'll leave and they're like, "Are you done with your cart?" I'm like, "Yeah." But
At your bins,
yeah.
Are you allowed to bring your carts with you, or you have to park them on the wall?
Oh no, Oh no, you pretty much have to move them around. Now you can kind of camp out against the walls to sort. They've been at times, like in the last, let's say, like year and a half since I've sorted. No, cat, don't scratch that. Off and on for Brian. No,
go ahead, carry on. I'll be right back, guys.
They've kind of changed the rules, but most people, you just drag it around. Unless like sometimes when it's like they bring out a new row, I've learned like I'll just leave it at the end of the row. You know what I mean? Because it's not super wide. But now that they expanded, I don't know this picture. Well,
that's funny. At our bins, it's like illegal. Not illegal, but like you'll get yelled at if you bring your cart with you. You have to park it on the wall.
That's not a bad. I mean, I guess it depends how big the bins are and how much stuff you have. But I've done that where you're trying to walk back and have like your arms full of crap. I've also thought about, because I bought the fake IKEA bags, like because you had them. Like I could always take that. I haven't been to the bins, but I Ubered someone near there a couple weeks ago, so I went for it ended up 2 hours. But I hadn't been in a month before that because I'm not sourcing for him, and I was waiting to go to that store to sell all my stuff. I didn't.
Who knows if I up the listings?
I looked at that text the other day that you sent a few weeks ago, and you're like, "Oh, this much for jeans," and add that back. It's that deal also because I can double up and I look for stuff.
Maybe Val
generic T-shirt that doesn't sell on eBay, but I can make $6 at Dolly Python
every so often to pick up inventory.
How far of a drive is it for you? Because you've been to Springs, right?
Yeah, to Denver it's like 12 hours, I think. So maybe 11 hours to probably where you're at. But like, here's my thought. Like I've done that. Like I'm not a tax person, but because you're overnight, like you can actually write that off. So you can, as long as you source. Like I've done several trips like that I've written off as business expense. You can write off the cost of the Airbnb, the food, all that stuff and I would just source like for a little bit each day. So I could get like a vacation in and still write it off. And for that, I just need a draft bank where I could launch them while I'm gone. So yeah, it would be, to me, it'd be worth it because I love Colorado so much. And like, yes, I'm sourcing, I'm picking up inventory. And
like when I go to South Carolina next month, I've got to figure out how much legally I can write off, because that's not the point of the trip. But maybe when I get the rental car in Atlanta, I'll hit a thrift store on the way to South Carolina. And then
the
I'll
IRS, like, once again, I'm not a tax person, but the
Yeah.
IRS doesn't. They don't say the point. The fact that you're sourcing, it then becomes a business trip.
Yeah.
I would just make
Is it
sure
like
you buy
right
something
off?
every day.
Now, see, I use points for the flight, but still the rental car and Airbnb. Oh, I need to book that Airbnb, or else I'm not going to get one. I'm going to this little town near Greenville, South Carolina, so I need to.
Val, we're just spitballing here. So, do they have lots of jeans and men's shirts up there in your
Yes.
bins?
I mean, I haven't been to the Denver one in a while, but Springs one, yeah.
Hmm.
The Denver, man. Did you go to the Denver one when I know you've been to Colorado a few
Oh, I
times.
just went to local Goodwills because I was so excited to hit the hiking.
No, our Goodwills suck.
Yeah.
Our normal. Well, did you find a lot at the Goodwills? I think they
Well,
suck.
I found like hiking shoes and stuff, which is
Yeah.
great. So that was good. But I would like to hit the bins up there, or the bins. Well, obviously you go there, so they must be pretty.
The Denver ones are crazy. There's one on Kearney Street. That's the main one I go to. The clothes, it's just ridiculous how many bins of clothing there are.
Good stuff, Rocky Mountain stuff.
Yeah. Like in Springs, it's hit or miss. Like I never really get too excited about the stuff I find there, but Denver does pretty good.
Well, if you don't list like men's stuff, or especially men's jeans, and that's available, you know, maybe we could set something up where we could agree on a price. If it's not something that you already list. If it's something you list, obviously not. But
I'm pretty picky about my men's jeans. I typically just do
Rock Revival.
I've never found a pair of Rock Revival jeans.
Hey, Rock Revival Rick. Do you like my Ed Hardy t-shirt in my bedazzled pocket?
Wait, where's the Affliction t-shirt, bro?
Get my Affliction t-shirt and my soul patch. Not that I'm making fun of anybody who has any of that.
I dated a guy like that once.
What?
I said I dated a guy like that once. That's
no.
Really? I don't picture that.
Yeah, it didn't last very long.
I was gonna say, because I'm like, that's like, to use a fancy word.
So how did he talk? Let's hear your question, Val. Is
No
Clay
way.
pretty close? Is Clay kind of on point?
Oh, that's funny.
I hadn't done that voice in a while.
No, but I just do Levi's, like 501, 505 is about all I pick up for men. And then Lucky Brand every once in a while if it's in good enough condition, and that's about it. That's about all I pick up Ariat, but there's a lot of specific people at that Springs bin that pick up Ariat, so.
Oh, I could see lots of, or not lots, but compared to here.
But that's about all I pick up is Levi and Lucky Brand for men. Oh, and Cool, but.
Yeah, I do all that, and then some others, like, and some brands that a lot of people don't mess with, like Wrangler. I sell a lot of Wrangler, especially like the leather tab, like the 13 MWZ, the cowboy cut stuff.
Maybe we can work something out. I pass up. I could probably leave there with a cart of Wrangler. Everybody passes it up. The leather patch, cowboy pants.
So much for Brian or myself, because the leather patch and the one other model, the 20X or
the 20X, the George Strait.
Yeah.
Not sure what that one is.
I can't describe. I don't know how it's different. It just that's the label. Yeah, it's like 20X, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to just show you. I'll take a photo next time I'm there and see if that's the type of jean you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I guess maybe next time you go, yeah, send me a picture or let me know what's available, and then we can talk. Because that's right down my wheelhouse. Like I sold a couple of Wranglers today, as a matter of fact, and I love it because a lot of people pass on them. I'm like,
Now, Val, are y'all's Wranglers there? Like, do you get the ones that are like can stand up almost, or you could use it like it's just the crease and it's been like dry clean and it's like super starched?
I shipped out a pair just like that, Clay.
I've gotten some for you. They're crazy. I don't know how people put them on.
I just put that in the description that they're heavily starched.
Yeah,
and they can kind of see it in the picture because like I have to take a picture of like a side profile because I can easily open them up.
Yeah, there is no side profile. Yeah.
But some people.
God, my internet sucks.
Yeah, mine does too, and I'm waiting.
But I've had to reset like 10 times.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. God, I can't get these shoelaces untied here.
No, I'm trying to get my last list.
List some golf shoes here.
What brand?
FJ.
FootJoy.
Yeah. I've taken pictures so far, minimal cleaning, but I've taken pictures of 5 pairs of shoes now.
So this is good to actually get you to work.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of why I also
for me, it's the opposite. It's brought my work to a crawl, which is fine.
But at least you'll still can get it done today, even though it's
Well, I'm on these last 2 listings while we talk because I'm like I don't want to not get my 30 up.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know, it's just a mindset.
No, I get it. I kind of like, well, I got to get 5. So the 5 pairs that I just took pictures of, and they're not one.
Well, I like your model. If you're doing 5 a day, I would just do 5 good shoes and or 5 good hard goods. Because like what Tommy was saying, if you're doing a smaller amount, then it does. I agree with him at that point. It doesn't make sense to list Old Navy jeans if you're doing 5 a day.
And I
have 5 a day,
but they're Levi's. Sorry, I interrupted. That was rude of me.
No, it's fine. We're all talking over each other.
Tommy, here's some on clouds, Tommy. These aren't too beat up.
Because like I normally don't find many of those. It's like
last time when I was at the bins, a couple weeks ago, and I text you, I found like 2 Hokas, but not the same one, And I made myself set. I did buy like a couple things for myself, and I think a pair or 2 of shoes that I have already listed, but I was just like, I'm not going to spend forever because I need to get back to Ubering that day. And that other room was so hot,
Yeah, last time I went there, I quickly just kind of went through the shoes. I picked up 3 pair. I found a pair of Docs,
nice.
A pair of Cole Haan Country, but they were really nice leather, really good condition. And I forget a 3rd pair that was good. Like I wasn't even focusing on shoes. I guess because I hadn't done clothes in a long time. I was so excited to clothes. Right. I was like, yeah.
And you have so much to go through there now. Yeah. Oh, Curry or whatever. Women's shoes is what I picked up. I've sold a pair too. I got one pair one time when I got that high chair, that wooden high chair at the.
Wait, what's the brand again?
Currick. Let me look it up or something like that. Remember when I got that wooden high chair at the Goodwill or the Thrift Giant on Beltline in Irving? And that day when I got that, I think that's where I got the first pair of Currick. Let's see how you spell it. Or no, they're not sold yet. Let's see. Or something like that. Let's see. Or Kuru. Here,
You got a picture? Like, yeah, K
U
how you spell it?
Kuru, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I listed them at 30, basically penny under 30, so. And then I have these Ariat boots I got that day, I think, down there in the bag that I need to polish in a minute. I'm just listing shoes that I can basically use a Clorox deal real quick, on the sole or something.
Yeah, you
'Cause
need to get
that's
a
the other
magic
thing.
eraser.
Yeah, I have some
Get
of
a
those
magic
too.
eraser, a bottle of grandma's cleaner, and you're good to
Yeah, I
go.
got some.
But
I
that's
tried
smart, yeah,
the last year
to
just to
get
pick up
shoes that
shoes.
don't take a lot of cleaning.
Yeah, yeah. Even though I wasn't listening, I'm like, I might not have listened to you and some others, but I knew what to pick up. That's why a lot of this stuff in my garage is good stuff. I just got to get it on there.
Talk about death piles, just kills me.
Yeah, my whole garage. At least it's just well, there wasn't anything to list at the storage unit. At least that's gone though now, and saving me some money.
Where do you think you get most of your brand knowledge from, Brian?
Me?
Yeah, YouTube, your
Oh,
group, or trial and error?
question. It's a combination. Let me pull back this camera. Like when I first started YouTube, when I didn't know anything, then it was probably trial and error because I was an everything seller at the beginning, so looked a lot up. Matter of fact, the very first person, it was Bonafide Hustler, my favorite original YouTuber. He's down in Austin, and he does a lot of garage sales, but he would focus on like travel bags, shoes, bats. He would do bikes. I never really got into bikes. Like he was kind of everything, but within that there were probably 10 categories, like some clothes. And so that's what I did at the beginning. And when I pulled Clay into reselling, I was still an everything seller. And then I kind of moved a little bit deeper into shoes because I like the ASP and they're fairly abundant. And then when I joined Chris's group, I then moved into clothing. And at that point, I would spend like my habit stack, I would spend like 15 minutes a day. I did this in school during the planning period where I would study solds. Like I would look at men's jeans and I'd get on Terapeak. And then I would look at what was selling to identify those items. And then I'd do the same thing for shirts and women's jeans and different things. And then there's like a technique in our group that's very valuable. It's basically searching by your zip code within a radius. So because you want to see, like each region is different. Like in your region, you're going to have a lot of outdoor stuff. Like you threw those Marmot pants back. I'd be stoked to find like Marmot where I'm at. I will find lots of Wranglers and Levi's and Western shirts. So you want to, like, if you search within, say, a 50-mile radius of your zip code on eBay, and then you can filter it by price point, then you can kind of see, and you can look at the brands. You can see there's lots of these brands that are selling for this amount. And then then I would do a deep dive within a brand to try to figure out, well, what is it that makes this shirt more valuable? Oh, it's a pearl snap. Oh, it's a vintage Wrangler. Like to figure all that out. I don't like I got my base knowledge doing that, and I will still do that occasionally. But like I have a pretty good understanding now. So I don't know, a combination of all those things, and of course, searching in the wild on your phone is obviously, if you're not sure, that's a good method. So a little bit of everything: YouTube, studying solds. Within our group, like the calls we go on, like there's a shoe call, a jean call, like a lot of that. Like the shoe call is so great. Like they did an episode where we broke down brands between like tiers. Like you have your gold tier, your silver tier, your bronze tier, your aluminum tier, and then like breaking down the brands, the shoes, the styles within that. And I had a really strong knowledge of shoes, but I did, even within that, learn some, especially about women's shoes, women's comfort shoes. I picked up some brands and some knowledge I didn't know. So it's kind of like a stew of learning. Like all of the above has been valuable. And like Tech on the Tuesday call, he does a Tuesday call. Like the last one was 5.5 hours where everybody in the group can ask questions. And
Mhm.
somebody asked him the question of what are the most important things to reselling? His response was consistency, ability, and continued knowledge. So, like, obviously, the consistency, like hitting your listing goal, your sourcing route, because the more you do these things, you're going to build relationships. You're going to get more sales. Like all that consistency is so important. Um, but like the continuing knowledge part, like fashion changes. Like a Robert
Mhm.
Graham shirt today, if it's not a limited edition or if there's not something special about it, it's not going to sell for nearly the amount of money it would 4 or 5 years ago, right? So
Mhm.
you need to keep your thumbprint on your niche or your niches as things change.
Oh, man.
What about you? Where where do you where did you gain your knowledge from, Val?
When I first started, just watching YouTube videos and what other people were picking up. But
Like haul videos?
no, just like yeah, haul videos. Is that what you said? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, haul videos and what sold videos. But then I quickly learned that what sells for one person
Mm,
doesn't sell for another person. The amount of like free people in anthropology I picked up, like I would buy everything I saw. If I saw anthropology, it didn't matter if it was ugly or not. I'm like, nope, this is what they said to buy. I'm gonna buy it. Like even at the bins, I'll pass up on a lot of anthro and free people stuff now. But there's like I think only one person that I still watch to this day that I watched near the beginning. I
who?
don't remember. I don't know what her real name is, but her channel is Common Tags.
Comment tags.
She's a YouTuber, reseller. I'm pretty sure she does it full time now, but she lives
Mhm.
in an area where to get to sourcing, she has to drive like an hour. So when she goes sourcing, she like makes it worth it and she's not picking up just anything. Like she's making it worth her money and it's going to sell for a lot. So I really like her channel.
What does she focus on, like a certain niche, or so she's shooting for higher ASP items?
She sells mainly just clothing. I don't think she picks up shoes too often or bags. It's mostly just clothes. And it's like higher end clothing or like brands that you never heard of
Hmm.
that sell for a lot. I don't know, you have to check her out. And she's an easy to listen to. She's like straight to the point, not like my nonsense videos. Like she's right to the point, which I like.
We love your videos.
She's polar opposite of me, but she's very knowledgeable. That's why I was asking. I just wanted more content. I've stopped watching a lot of
Oh, here,
the.
all right. Let me find you one. Here's a recent 6 months. This guy is really good. Let me pull him up here. I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
All I know is that I'm picking up what people are putting down, man. That's where I learn my knowledge.
I hear Rock Revival Rick is back.
Yeah, EdHardy.com, man.
Oh man.
And my other new character, Val, that my buddy Chad, he won't do it in public, but I'll start to do it. And he's like, be quiet, be quiet. Chip, he's Chip and I'm Chet. And we're like, well, hey there, how's it going, Val? You're so neato, Val. I mean, oh gosh darn, I cursed. I said gosh darn, I said it again. Oh God, golly gee, I'm so.
Uh-oh, did we freeze?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, but on my screen plays frozen.
I'm trying to find this guy. This guy is great for men's clothes. He's pickier as well, and he actually, what's his name? Gosh, I have too many people subscribed on YouTube. This is ridiculous.
Like I just need somebody new to follow. Like I'm not saying I know everything about clothes. I don't, but a lot of the people that I follow, it's like all brands that I already know. That's why I like this Common Tags lady. Like she tells me things.
Yeah,
Let's-
you'll like. If I can find.
Find a pin.
Because I haven't watched one of his videos in so long, but like actually, he has a buy me a coffee where he compiled a list based on tiers and sell-through rate. What's his name? Well, I'm gonna find him here.
Clay's in the back.
Clay's actually working. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I think this is him. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Yep, this dude is good. I'm gonna drop him in the chat. His name is, this YouTube channel is Thrift to Life. Here, I'll put the link.
Thrift a life.
Yeah, here I'm gonna drop him in the chat. There we go. Yeah, he focuses on men's clothing. He focuses on sell-through rate and ASP. And his videos are really good. He also has I forget what he called it, like a reseller Bible or something that he created. You can get it for free. Like I gave, he does have a buy a coffee link. I think I gave him like $20, but like it was at the time I spent some time studying his document and it was very valuable. So yeah, check him out and tell me what you think when you get a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt. Yep. PK's Inc. Yeah, he's really good. If you want to do men's clothing, I would definitely check him out. Trying to find my listing. Did I just create the list? This is a problem when I'm trying to work and talk. Not good. I forgot where I was at. Let me see if I launched this last one. Nope, I did not. Wait.
Oh, Brian, man, I should have called you Sunday when I left Kathy's. All the school stuff she told me, someone quit like, I think the first day or something like that. They're just like, screw this, I'm done.
A new teacher?
Kathy even said if Fifield becomes the principal, she's going to look for jobs.
Oh, God, that's horrible.
That says something that if, you know.
They're on the dregs if they're looking at him. Hey, PK.
Yeah, it's that weird deal. Such a nice, good guy. But as a, I was about to say enforcer.
Administrator or not?
As an administrator, just quit being so by the book.
What's been going on, PK? Yeah, we haven't had a live in forever. What do you think, guys? Do we want to like try to make this a little bit more regular, weekly or something? I like the little chat and catching up, talking a little resell, talking a little.
When I knew I wasn't going to be leaving the house today, that's why I texted. And I was like, oh, well, once you're near the end of your day, we probably could, you know.
Yeah. What do you think, Val? Could you want to commit like once a week?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
What
I like
days?
doing them. It's just Fridays or
Yeah.
a no-go for me.
Maybe Thursdays?
Yeah, I think any day, but Friday pretty much works for me.
Wednesday or Thursday, yeah.
All right, let's shoot for Thursdays. We'll iron out the time, but around this time, 4:30.
Yeah.
I just can't take a nap and make sure I get my work done. But yeah, Matt, he's very knowledgeable on men's clothing, and yeah, he's good. Wow, it's 6:30. All right, I did hit my goal of I hit my goal of 30. Like I would have been done. If I had taken a nap, I probably would have been done
Goes out again
way earlier, but I got it done. And I have a stack of clothes that are photographed and the pictures are on my computer, so I'll have a head start on tomorrow. And tomorrow, if I don't take a nap, I can maybe get a little further ahead. Well, Guys, I'm starting to get hungry. So Clay, you got your. So Val's been working on her death pile. I got my 30th listing done. Clay's taking photos. When are you going to get those listed? Do you think, Clay?
Tonight.
Tonight.
I've pictures of 6 pairs. The 7th is in here, and the 8th. And then I've got tons more shoes. So I'll probably, I don't know, I might even, my internet sucks, but maybe I'll go live or something, even if no one watches, just to keep, working till like 8 or something,
Good deal. Good
I mean,
deal.
I've got enough for today to list, but I should get some for tomorrow too, in case, oh yeah, because, or at least take pictures in the morning as well before I go to donate plasma, because I'll be sitting there with nothing but time, to play on my phone.
Yeah, with your schedule so flexible, like having pictures available where you can create drafts or launches.
Oh yeah, and like Monday when Dad, it's just this little heart thing. He's calling it heart surgery. It's not, but like I'm just gonna be there during that and at the hospital mostly, because they're just keeping him one day. But yeah, I need to have a bunch of pictures, and then I could go through and fix, like the other 80 or something.
Yeah, that's good. PK says he built a daily refinement photo booth since we last chatted. The wife loves it. Yeah, that's a great photo booth.
I feel like it would have like a label, like above it, he put the, not memorial, because that would mean Chris is dead. The, something like dedicated to Chris / daily refinement, like a plaque above his light box.
Right.
And when he called you Brother Brian, I was like, oh, it's like y'all are Mormons together or something,
I like it. A little
Brother
alliteration. I'm down with alliteration. All right, guys. Well, thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Val, for joining today. Thanks, Clay, for joining.
Good seeing you, Val.
I've enjoyed this, and I think we'll shoot for Thursdays. Try to do this regularly. Talk resale, talk life. Thanks for everybody. Smash the like button. I guess I haven't said that in forever.
Yeah, right.
Maybe if I get my hours through live, I'd actually make some content.
So what this means is, those of you watching here,
what's funny is like some of my videos that I made, like for me as a very small channel, not even monetized, like I made some that have multi-thousand views, which for me is big time. Like,
I mean, Mike got over 1,000. I noticed the other day when I watched his live, so, and he didn't do anything. He just kept creeping on, and it's a crime that people don't watch him.
Yeah, Mike is he's so knowledgeable. Like, here's the thing. This is part of why I haven't been really making content. Like I realize, and this is part of what Mike is going through. Like, if you don't have a dynamic personality, it's harder. Like, you can still do it, but it's harder. Like, if you have a more dynamic personality, it's easier. And I'm comfortable, and I know I don't have that. That's not my thing, but I still think I have some knowledge I can share, and those are the people that do check out my videos. So anyway, it's good. Thanks everybody for watching. Check us out next Thursday, and we'll make our next one. Till the next video. Peace. Where's the stop button? Oh, there.
I know, right?